pretty skeptical.
I've done it all. The Match.com, the eHarmony, the Seeking Arrangements.
Men being in my DMs like, "Mommy, can you be the Cholula to my Chipotle bowl?" Like, shut the fuck up. But then, a friend told me about OK Cracker.
For people like us. People seeking to objectify white cis men because I am done with being catcalled. Yo, China doll, what's up?
Bitch, I'm Canadian!
Thanks to OK Cracker, I matched with a man who lives his life like he's in the movie A Quiet Place.
Hi, I've been told countless times that I'm an ebony Nubian queen, but then we'll go out on dates and get treated like the hell. So I decided to flip the script and try OK Cracker. Oh, my man, what I love about him is his crow's feet. It makes him look wise beyond his years. He's actually 22. But you know the saying, crackers do crack. Cool. Now, I really do feel like a queen.
Oh, my back hurts.
So did the backs of my ancestors.
I'm tired of men calling me spicy or exotic. Like, can't I just be hot in a non-edible way? Now, it's time for us to make them the snack. An unseasoned snack. With OK Cracker, you can view postings from the pale places of Caucasus Mountains to milky Minnesota, or even in your own gentrified neighborhoods. That's where I found my sour cream, yogurt, mashed potato ass of a man. And now he's my one-night stand. And it's been absolutely wonderful. Or should I say, wonder bread.
As a white man, I feel that...
Did I say you could talk? And what could I say? With OK Cracker, I have found love.
Thank you, OK Cracker.
Thank you, OK Cracker.
Thank you. OK Cracker, let's go spend some of that trust fund money.
Sign up now to get a free 30-day trial today. If you don't find someone within the 30 days, OK Cracker guarantees you a lifetime supply of saltines. Or Ritz, if you like 'em tan. Try OK Cracker today.
I bought for you.
Do you want to spend the night?
It's not how long it takes, it's who's taking you.
Yeah.
We are all sluts. You're a slut, your cameraman's a slut, your PA's a slut, and your mic's a slut.
Welcome to The Sex Scene, a show where we examine how sex is represented in TV and film and how it's affecting your real sex lives. If you haven't already guessed, today's episode will be on fetishization. And don't get that confused with the kinky shit you list on your Tinder profile.
Enjoying fetishes with your consenting partner is completely normal and completely hot. Like, the most unproblematic thing about Quentin Tarantula is the fact that he has a foot fetish.
Hey, I don't judge.
Yeah.
But to fetishize an individual, an identity, or an entire group of people will definitely have me looking at you sideways. But then again, how can we blame you? So much of the media we watch already promotes narratives that sexually objectify women in general. But if you are considered taboo or exotic or othered in some way or another, well, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, there is a terrifying tendency in our media to hypersexualize women of color, but to also desexualize them at the same time.
Right, like, make up your mind. Either I'm your asexual nanny or I'm your chocolate chip cocoa butter goddess.
Right.
And I'd rather be neither. Not even if you paid me.
Doesn't money make you horny?
Then there's the sexualizing of lesbians and trans women, yet the desexualizing of trans men. We see straight women making out on TV all the time, but can't fathom watching a trans man moan on screen unless he's crying from some hate crime. I mean, what is up with that? There's only so much of consuming the same old tired narrative until people start to believe that it is true.
Right. And let's get this straight. We don't care what sexual fantasies you were enjoying on your own time, but here's a little piece of advice. treating your date like a fetish in real life will only lead to bad vibes, bad relationships, and ultimately bad sex. And here at the sex scene, we care about your sex lives. So we can't let that happen.
Exactly. Long before the spawn of male directors, men have found a way to jack off to just about any and everything. I mean, it's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Guys can look at an entire sexuality that doesn't involve them at all and still find a way to insert themselves into it. Because of course, lesbians are just hot straight women who make out to get a man off.
Holy John Llama. Kiss her again.
Whether it's peeking through your bathroom door, spying through a car window, or directing their female lead to teach her friend how to kiss a man, it's all so voyeuristic. It really just feels like soft porn that dudes can watch together. No homo.
For those of you that have only ever seen girl-on-girl action in these kinds of movies, you may be shocked to find out that women do have sex with only each other, just for fun, like no peepholes, no cameras. Well, I guess maybe cameras if you are into that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
Oh God.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, I saw you.
Girls like I am, let's be honest.
The fetishization doesn't stop at lesbians. Trans women are so often portrayed as sex workers or just the shitty punchline to a joke. And our trans men, Brenna, roll those sex scenes. Oh, duh. How could I forget? Trans men are usually excluded from sex scenes. So if we do get to see trans men getting love on screen, he's typically played by a cis woman, or it ends in tragedy. Like, what a turnoff.
Seriously.
For more info on that, watch our last episode.
Too many actors are constantly playing roles that are not meant for them. Recently, Scarlett Johansson stepped back from a role as a trans man after a lot of public backlash. I mean, thank God for small favors.
You know what? Speaking of Scarlett Johansson, let's talk about people of color.
Okay, you are on a roll today.
I know. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Anyways, back to the subject. Black women's bodies have been exploited and commodified way before the Kardashians ever made it cool. Take Saartjie Baartman, for instance, otherwise known as the Hottentot Venus.
Right. In the early 19th century, Saartjie Baartman was forced to put her body, or rather her booty, on display at freak shows across Europe for all the world, or I guess just white people, to see.
Yes, the objectification of Black women has been happening for a long time, long before film ever existed. But goddamn, I swear, Hollywood just ran with it.
Yeah.
The common trope of the promiscuous Jezebel has been around as a hollow vessel for men to insert their darkest fantasies.
Unless you're a professional, you shouldn't be, going around like this. Be careful of that tendonitis.
Now let's get this party started. Yeah.
Be gentle.
Because of the Jezebel trope, Black actresses and particularly Black trans actresses often got their start playing sex workers who have no sexual agency or defining characteristics. I mean, take Laverne Cox. Before her big break in Orange is the New Black, she played a sex worker in 7 different projects.
Wow.
Many without character names.
Look, any idea how ignorant you sound?
Since we're talking limited screen time, dark-skinned actresses specifically are way less likely to even be cast, let alone seen having sex on screen.
I wonder why.
Well, partly because they are too busy telling white kids, you is kind, you is smart, you is important. Otherwise known as the mammy. A big-boned, darker complexion chaste woman who loves her white family.
Like Viola Davis and Octavia Spencer in The Help.
You two give me heart palpitations.
And also the horror movie Ma, which was weirdly directed by the same white guy.
Yeah, I mean, that movie was hilarious, but it was actually an attempt to somehow re-sexualize the mammy figure because he got so much backlash from how he desexualized Octavia Spencer in The Help.
Strip. Get naked, boy.
So instead of caring for the white kids, she buys them booze and tries to fuck them.
And then she tries to kill them? Okay, I don't know whose twisted sexual fantasy that was, but I would definitely recommend a therapist.
We see the desexualization of plus-size women on screen all the time. And like the mammy figure, plus-sized women are depicted as chaste or prude. If they're seen having sex, which is a big if, it usually is for a poorly written body-shaming punchline. Like we see this in Shallow Hal, American Pie, Love Actually, Insatiable. I mean, basically, the male protagonist instantly regrets his one-night stand based on her BMI.
Why are you always here?
Because we're a couple.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. You did the nasty.
And I've been on antidepressants ever since.
But, you know the movie Hustlers? Lizzo's role breaks this tired-ass narrative. She plays a plus-size stripper who is unapologetically owning her body and her sexuality.
I just want to chill on my couch in some feety pajamas with my nigga ice cream, no makeup, and for damn sure not with these on.
That is not the only thing that Hustlers does right. I mean, take Jennifer Lopez's character, Ramona. I mean, since the start of her career, J-Lo has been fetishized in the media as the Boricua it girl with the perfect body. But in Hustlers, she is just way more than a fetish. I mean, yes, she's still hot as hell and she's the baddest bitch in the club, but she's calling the shots this time. And we get to see all the labor behind her work and her body. I mean, basically, we're seeing a person, not just some flat image to drool over.
Jenny has come a long way from the block.
I'm still Jenny from the block.
Latina women are often cast as the spicy bombshell, the hot tamale.
Oh my God, you're making me hungry.
And when they are not being compared to foods, their fierceness is manipulated into a volatile combo of sinful and sexy.
She severed that dude's carotid artery with a beer bottle. I knew right then.
I love you.
Looks like Samuel Jackson skeeted his pants.
I bet the director did too, but that's probably the point.
Another example is Fading Gigolo.
Oh my God, you know it's trouble when Woody Allen stars as a beginner pimp named Don Bongo.
Even though Sofia Vergara's character is supposed to be objectifying a male sex worker, she still manages to get objectified by the director, thus falling into the trope of the spicy señorita.
Would it be sexy
What?
if my foreplay was salsa dancing in 7-inch stilettos before deciding on a menage a trois?
Can you dance the salsa?
Yeah.
On rhythm?
No.
Then I would probably stick to keeping salsa on a strictly eating basis.
Okay, noted. Fuck, I just wish J-Lo taught me pole dancing.
Oh, me too.
Like Constance Wu was obviously faking it. She already knew what the hell she was doing.
Table talk? I can't do that. You can do that. You're gonna do that.
Yeah, she slayed that role. Both of them did.
Absolutely. Asian women are often disproportionately hypersexualized as brainless sex workers on screen. And Hustlers said, fuck that. We get to see Constance Wu's character, Destiny, as a successful sex worker telling her own story and having her very own happy ending.
Unfortunately, not everyone got the memo. Like, look at Netflix's The Crown.
The Queen's sister, Princess Margaret, is married to Anthony Armstrong Jones, a bisexual icon, who's lucky enough to get all of these sex scenes with what feels like the whole damn cast. But then comes his infamous scene with Jackie Chan. No, not that Jackie Chan, y'all. Okay, this Jackie Chan was way cooler.
In this sex scene, Jackie dances so seductively that Tony can't help but fuck her right then and there in the studio.
Oh, shit.
Now, this description alone sounds like a freaking porno, but get this, that is her only scene in the whole series.
Exactly. And her only line is, "What's the matter?" I'll tell you what's the matter. When the actress who plays Princess Margaret a white woman, thought that we gave a fuck about her opinion.
And his relationship with Jackie Chan was one of the deepest and most meaningful relationships he had outside of Margaret, and it was always a person that he saw throughout their entire relationship. So I think that it just, because she happens to be a different nationality, I don't think it should be something that we judge.
If the relationship was so deep and meaningful, then why didn't we get to see that part of it on screen? I mean, we're all here for the sex scenes. You know, we love sex scenes at the sex scene, but what we aren't here for is being so horny that you can't recognize what's deep and what's not. And in that scene, something went deep, all right, but it wasn't the relationship.
Not only are Asian women depicted as sex objects, they are often stereotyped as forever foreigners, which further exoticizes them. I mean, look at Mean Girls. Tina Fey decided that two Asian students' main conflict was fighting in Vietnamese over the old, wrinkly, sexually illiterate gym coach.
You're gonna want to take off your clothes and touch each other. But if you do touch each other, you will get chlamydia and die.
They wanted to bone that guy.
And they're in high school.
Right.
So they are children.
Right. Has Tina Fey ever directed a sex scene?
Oh my God, I hope not.
Okay, please, nobody let Tina Fey direct the sex scene.
There we go, ripping on my very problematic fave. The reality is that Tina Fey wasn't the first to sexualize young teen girls for adult men. And she is not the last. Like, what do you think that Millie Bobby Brown stylists were thinking when they dressed a 13-year-old in this outfit?
I don't think it's that bad, actually.
No, it's not. But the tweets from creepy guys currently counting down the days till her 18th birthday are.
Oh, yeah.
And we are not at all shaming MBB here. We love Stranger Things. 11 is the shit. But this is an example of an even stranger thing. We won't let kids be kids. A 13-year-old girl should not be sexy.
Yeah. But that dress was so mature. I mean, how come when I was a tween, all of our fashion was absolutely terrifying?
Right? Like we turned our ears green with jewelry from Claire's and danced off rhythm to T-Pain at bar mitzvahs.
Oh, wait, nah. You were off rhythm.
Yeah, I am proud of it.
I mean, hey, at least we're actually trying to dance. I don't know what they're doing on TikTok right now. And it doesn't matter what anybody says down there in the comments. Those are not dance moves, people.
Kids nowadays don't even get to experience the pure hell of the awkward preteen phase.
Right?
They've got Invisalign, Instagram filters, and Kylie Jenner's makeup line.
Oh, okay. You sound a little jealous, though.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely am. You should have seen me in middle school.
What
the hell? I thought I burned these.
Wait, Brenna, where did you get those?
Facebook.
Okay, you are fired.
Damn.
Okay, so what do you think of when I say small, skinny, naive version with no body hair or stretch marks?
Yeah, I'm thinking of a child or a naked mole rat.
These low-key pedophile beauty standards have us thinking of youth as a woman expires at age 21. And then suddenly you become a haggard old witch like Bette Midler in Hocus Pocus. I mean, look at Journey Smollett. When talking about her past jobs, she said that there has only been one set she's worked on since the age of 12 that she hasn't been sexually harassed.
Oh my God.
Can we please start treating young Black girls like young Black girls?
Right. The Jezebel trope doesn't stop at Black women. It's literally put on Black children too. I mean, take the French film Cuties, a cinematic critique on the hypersexualization of Black children. When it was marketed in the US, American media decided to completely take the film out of context by claiming it was peddling child porn. Luckily, one review of the film and its controversy said, if you haven't seen the film, you literally don't know what you're talking about. And I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's always little girls being treated like women and then women being treated like objects.
Right.
But, you know, at least in TV, breakout shows like Rami are now writing commentary about these issues.
You sure you want to have sex with me?
Yeah.
Yeah? You know I'm a white infidel. Is that what you want?
Wait, what?
When women are not being treated like an object, we're written with the intelligence of one. I mean, the cast of Brave Little Toaster had more collective brain cells than writers typically give female characters. So here are some female characters with brain cells and agency. Roll the clips, Brenna. Brenna.
You fired me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, you're rehired. Roll the clips, Brenna.
I could tell you, or I could show you.
We fuck the best of this shit. And then when they realize that we work 6 nights a week, last shit wanna see is they damn dick, okay?
You want stretch marks? Here you go. Okay? I have stretch marks that go from north to south.
Message from a rather untraditional sponsor.
Hi, I'm FilmBro 42069, and this is my masterclass, shot on a scarlet red dragon.
And action!
As a recent graduate from the University of Southern California School of Cinematic Arts, I am here to teach you about the elusive lesbian sexual experience. The North Star for me on this subject, the Citizen Kane, if you will, is blue is the warmest color. I just feel like Luca Guadagnino just really knew what he was doing when he directed Blue is the Warmest Color. Like, the spaghetti they keep eating represents female sexual desire. One of them has to be blonde and the other one has to be brunette, or else they're gonna get confused who's who. So no, strap-ons aren't a real thing. That's just a rumor. My cousin told me. She's not gay, but she wears Doc Martens. Fellas, as we all know, women don't come. And that's fine, ladies. Female orgasms are just something created by the porn industry to shame women for your body's evolutionary failings. All of the pleasure receptors are in the tits, so it's obviously a very boob-centric, breast-centric experience. There's no such thing as top or bottoms, like, lesbians just wear overalls. Prior to the commencement of intercourse, they, play rock, paper, scissors or something to decide who the man is, and that's where scissoring comes from. Have you ever seen a thumb war? It's that, but topless. Thanks for tuning in to Lesson 1 of my Cinematic Arts Masterclass on lesbian sex. Come back next week where we'll be talking about how Woody Allen is a feminist icon. Keep rolling, Super 8s.
Welcome back, everybody.
We hope you enjoyed that paid sponsorship. Don't judge us. We will take money from anybody,
Literally
all right?
anyone.
Look, as a matter of fact, we will take your money. So if you want to register to our Patreon.
Yes, we have recently received some amazing patrons or matrons, and we love you.
Thank you.
Please register on our Patreon and we will shout you out on the damn show.
Yeah, continue to support.
Yes, hell yes. And speaking of support, we want to bring on somebody amazing to the show. She has been in Gotham. She has been in 7 Seconds. And most recently, she has starred in The Baker and the Beauty. She is just an all around bad bitch. We are so excited to have her on the show, and
beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, and we're like total nerds for her. So let's bring on the show
Michelle Veintimilla. Welcome, welcome, Michelle. It is so nice to have you on the show today. We have been big fans of you for a long time, as you know. So we're so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Of course. Yeah, we have been binging Baker and the Beauty a lot lately. Like we did it separately and then together. So it's been
Thanks for watching.
You do so beautifully in that show. Thank God that it's on Netflix now.
Reaching a lot more people, thank God.
Yes. Yeah. And season 2 is going to be amazing. We're so excited to see you kick ass in there too.
Oh, there is a season 2. Let's get more people to watch.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start off with the key question that we always ask our guests at the very beginning. What is, to you, the pinnacle sex scene? Like the scene that you're like, yes, they got it right. Gold standards. I want to live this reality. Go.
Okay, well, I think the first time I watched a sex scene that I thought was, or a scene that I appreciated really, was there's this scene in the film Blue Valentine. Have you guys seen this movie? Yeah, Derek Cianfrance and Michelle Williams and Ryan Gosling. And there's this weird scene where they go to this futuristic hotel to rekindle their unraveling marriage. And Michelle Williams is in the shower and Ryan Gosling is trying to like go down on her, and she keeps pushing him away. And I just kind of appreciated that moment of like her acknowledging that she does want to participate and rekindle this marriage, but she also just wants to take a fucking shower and not deal with that in that moment. And I just, you know, and I think it was such an awesome representation of what sex really is a lot of the time, especially in long-term partnerships. Like it's not always sexy, it's not always exciting. Hopefully most of the time it's pleasurable, but it's not always like fun and sexy, you know. Sometimes it's awkward, and I appreciated that. But on the other side of the spectrum, I love an insecure sex scene.
Yes.
I do, because they're so fun, but also shocking. And it gives me pause, right? Because it makes me think like, why does this shock me? Why does it shock me to see like an explicit sex scene like that? And probably has a lot to do with the fact that our society has a lot, like throws a lot of shade and shame around sexuality, especially women. But I appreciate how the protagonists, you know, the protagonists of that show are female, and for the most part, they're feeling empowered in their sex. And I like those sex scenes.
Yeah, for sure. We love Insecure on the sex.
We bring it up a lot.
We brought it up every single episode. Insecure has all of the like golden standard of sex scenes.
Yeah.
But I definitely have to watch that Blue Valentine scene, because that's real. Like we don't want guys to go down on us all the time. Like
I don't know about that.
But I know I've definitely had instances where I'm kind of like, I'm not feeling it today.
Yes.
It's okay for us to like accept that and still have a pleasurable time. Either later on or when we're both in the mood for it, you know?
I think what's so great about both of those examples is that it's showing like both a great sex scene and then a scene where it doesn't necessarily go the way that it would go in porn or like or like Martin Scorsese's Wet Dream. Like it's just going like the way it might normally go, which is amazing. And thank you for being the one to bring up Insecure, because this was the first episode that we hadn't brought it up yet.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also see scenes like that, because in real life, it makes you feel less ashamed when you do that.
Yeah, 100%.
So our next question for you is, you know, the subject of our show is fetishization. And
say that 3 times fast.
Fetishization, it's hard enough to say. But I know that I've personally been in situations where I felt fetishized before, where I've like been out and like gone on a date, or when a guy has tried to pick me up and he's been like, oh wow, I've never dated a Black girl before, your skin is so soft. Or like I only date Black women. Like either side of the spectrum, it just feels weird. And it's just like, I don't I don't even want to be here at all.
Right.
So are there any situations where you may have like felt fetishized, whether it was on a date or even like in a professional setting? And
Yeah.
what was your experience like for that?
I mean, honestly, I don't remember a time in my life where I wasn't fetishized. I mean, I think that's
Wow. There
the
it is.
honest answer. I think that's partly to do with the fact that I went through puberty at a really young age. So at 12 years old, I looked like a 20-year-old. And so really early on, I had to learn how to deal with that. And it was normal for me to be fetishized most of my life. That paired with the fact that a lot of the women that I idolized or aspired to, especially actresses, they all led careers that revolved around the fetishization of Latin women, even though they were, they've won Oscars like Penelope Cruz or Sofia Vergara or Ava Mendes, or almost every Latin actress I can think of has led a career like that. So in a lot of ways, I normalized it for myself, or I had to normalize it for myself to survive, it felt like. And also because I wanted to be an actress, I had to lean into that and play that game. And I did have an experience at work once where I was playing a powerful woman, and she was in essence having a business conversation with this man over dinner. And we shoot the scene and the director goes, okay, like now we're going to do some insert shots. Pick up the wine of glass and slowly bring it up to your lips. And now cut the piece of meat and slowly bring it up to your mouth and like let your tongue touch the piece of meat. And slowly everyone on the set starts like giggling, most of whom were men. And I was like, that's when it dawned on me, like, holy cow, like I just felt so ashamed, and I felt taken advantage of. And I think that was the first time where I was like, okay, I see what this game is, and I see what role I play in it, and I don't want to play it anymore. And I promised myself I was never going to let myself be put in a situation like that ever again.
Wow. I mean, and also the fact that you felt shame when the person who should be ashamed of themselves in that situation is the director and all of the men in that situation who are just objectifying it. That's just horrible. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like it happens all the time. Thankfully, in recent years, the conversation has changed, and the culture on sets is shifting as well. So that's good. But it's, yeah, when I think about that, I'm like, wow, that if that happened today, that would not work. Someone would be fired, and it wouldn't be me.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like when we grow up, we see a lot of these women who we look up to, and seeing them fetishized or objectified in a way, to us, it looks powerful. To us, that having that sexuality and that sensuality can feel powerful. But then when you are put in that same situation and you see that the power is being taken away from you, I feel like it doesn't really dawn on you until it's happening within itself. And you're like, wait, do I have the power? Yeah. So I totally understand.
This actually brings us to our next question really beautifully. So, we think at the sex scene that it is really sexy when a woman is empowered and she can be sexual in a scene, but she still like has the power and she makes the decisions. And not to harp on it, but that's what was so cool about Baker and the Beauty and your character, because Vanessa is very clearly a sexual being, but like she is in power of and in control, and nobody makes the decisions for her. And so great job, first of all. But also, so what do you think makes a sex scene objectifying versus empowering?
I think it has everything to do with the lens that's being used and the environment that the actress is in, and ultimately how the actress feels. Like that experience that I had on that set was very different from the experience that I had on the Baker and the Beauty, because We had an entirely Latinx crew. We shot in Puerto Rico. We had an entirely Latinx cast, and half of our writer's room was Latinx. So that gave me the space to step into my own skin and not feel ashamed, because I was surrounded by women who looked like me. You know, I wasn't the anomaly. I wasn't the other. I was in a community, and I felt respected, and I felt celebrated for the body that I had, the way I talked, the way I looked. And that allowed me to step into those shoes with power and with dignity, and because I felt respected and celebrated more than anything, as opposed to feeling objectified and taken advantage of, or being solely used as, you know, as something to have the male gaze projected onto, you know? So is the show perfect? Am I slapping someone every 2 seconds? Yes. There are plenty of stereotypes in that, but I am grateful that I had that job to move the needle at least a little bit more towards the kind of representation that I wish I had when I was growing up, you know?
I really love what you're saying about how it has to do with, like, not just the viewer, but the actual crew. And a way to avoid othering somebody in that situation is to have a diverse crew. Like, it's not just above the line, it's like also below the line, and that's amazing. And hell yes to that, for them, for like actually bringing those people on to that set.
We can always tell when a woman is directing a scene versus when a guy is directing a sex scene. We can always tell when a white person has written something for a Black person. It's like, oh, that's not necessarily sounding right coming out of that actor's mouth.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes all the difference in performance, right? You can feel it, you can see it, you know when an actor is having fun and really stepping into their truth, and when the intention is completely the opposite.
Hell yeah, sure. So we are going to turn to a couple of our games with you.
Yeah, it's time for the funner part of the discussion. So we are going to be playing with you a little sexual therapy game, old school psychoanalysis test, where we will be showing you a close-up of a photo, and you're gonna have to guess what it is. Out of the 3 options, one of them will be objectifying a white guy for once. We're going to flip the script, you know? We're the ones always being fetishized, so we're going to flip the script with this game.
Is it right?
Probably
No.
not.
But is it hilarious?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So Brenna, bring up our first photo from Michelle. So what does this close-up look like to you?
Yeah, what is this giving?
Is it an orange? Is it Jonah Hill's popped pimple? Or is it Tom Hanks's belly button from Castaway? 3 very diverse options for you.
Yes, those are. I think it's an orange.
Okay, audience, you guys should be guessing in the poll below. What do you think? Is it an orange? Is it Tom Hanks' belly button? Is it Jonah Hill's pimple? What is it? Okay, so your final answer is orange, yes?
Yes.
All right,
let's see.
Let's bring up the full picture.
No.
Thanks.
Oh, my sweet.
You're a fire. So his stomach looks very orange, but it is actually just his belly button.
Yeah, he's an innie. Who knew?
Right? We love the Hanks family here at the sex scene.
Yeah, we bring them up a lot.
Let's bring up our second photo.
Okay.
What are you thinking, Michelle?
This could be Tom Hardy's lips, a 3rd-degree burn, or raw fish.
I'm hoping it's Tom Hardy's lips.
Why hoping?
I just want to see them.
There you go. Yes. That's it. All right.
There'll be some very non-chapped lips, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Very moist.
Very moist. Brenna, let's bring it up.
Damn it.
So it is actually raw fish.
Raw fish.
Salmon fact. But hey, you were pretty close. I hope Tom Hardy's lips is that moist.
Yeah. We hope that for you, Tom Hardy. Okay, let's bring up the third option. So,
audience, what are you guys thinking down there?
Make sure you're voting in the poll to help Michelle out.
It looks like mold or a disease.
That is fair. That is actually one of the options. Not a disease per se, but ringworm.
Yeah.
One of our first options is it ringworm? Is it a dry cropland circle, or happen to be the hairy chest of some dude named Steve?
It looks like ringworm to me.
Ringworm? All right, let's see.
Damn it. Oh my God. How do you guys find these things?
We have ruined our writer's room's Google search history, is what's happening.
Oh my gosh.
So this is actually from a 40-year-old version. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yes, of course.
Carell, when he went and tried to get his chest waxed, it basically came out to look like ringworm when you close up on it. So we have one more for you. This is a bonus round. There are no options.
You can guess anything you want. So audience, be sure to write in answers below. Make sure that you help Michelle out. Michelle, this is your chance to redeem yourself in this game. What do you think this is?
I think this is someone's beautiful belly rolls exposed in a paparazzi shot on a beach.
Very
the
specific.
Specificity of it. You know, a good actor is a specific actor.
Okay, so if you get this one, that means that you have totally redeemed yourself.
Oh God!
Well, and it doesn't matter that you got the first three wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Brenna, pull it up.
Oh, okay. Well,
so it is indeed someone's belly rolls.
Yeah.
Beautiful belly rolls.
This is specifically Jim from American Pie.
American Pie 2.
Right.
So basically he was masturbating and he accidentally grabbed super glue instead of lotion.
Oh my gosh, I remember this. Yeah.
You remember, right? And
yeah.
So his hand is stuck to his dick.
That's good.
That's why we have the belly rolls.
But it's the fact that you guessed belly rolls that I feel like you have really won this, because I thought it was E.T.'s neck. So
oh, that would have been a good one too.
Yeah, but not correct like you were. So won.
You win. Yeah, the bonus.
I won. Let's just say I won.
And what you won is another game. So we have one more game for you.
One more.
This is a continuation of what we've been playing with our previous guests, Kat Cohen and Sydney Washington. This game is called the Big O.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's our version of bingo. They've done pretty well so far. They have let's see, Brenna, how many vulvas they got up on that board.
Vulvas.
So there's 7 vulvas up there, which means that, you know, you're not too far from the Big O. We're going to be pulling from Jane Austen's head, a block, and you're going to have to guess a sex scene from that block in order to get an extra vulva on that board.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. You can go first.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Here we go. So this is the "did you come" moment. It was asked by a man and she did not. So any movie or TV show you can think of where a guy asked, "Did you come?"
Oh God. I know there's probably a few. Which one?
You think of one?
I can, yeah. There's a scene in that new show Ginny and Georgia on Netflix where, and there's so many of them, but like there's this one where a guy is texting the main character and she's like, "I've never come before," and he's like, "Touch yourself," and she's like, oh yeah, I'm like, she's just fully brushing her teeth. And he's like, did you come? And she's like, oh, totally. Which is like pretty much the general answer of like, oh, totally.
God. I feel like I remember a scene like that in Orange is the New Black in one of the flashbacks. What is the name of her character? I'm like blanking on the actress's name and her character's name, but she's like the Christ worshiping one in the early seasons.
Oh, Pennsatucky.
Yeah, Pennsatucky.
Yeah,
In her flashback, she's getting like railed from behind by this like trucker, and he asks her if she's come, and she's like, no, I have not, but give me my Mountain Dew. That's what she says.
Response to a question like that, give me my Mountain Dew.
She is. She's like trading sex for Mountain Dew, which I love.
I'm glad that she at least said no, because I feel like 99% of the time people are like, oh, totally. Like it's a throwaway.
Right.
Love it. So you get a point.
Yeah, so you get a vulva. Let's put that vulva up there.
Yay. The more vulvas, the better.
Your first vulva, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
All right, man.
I love how they're like shimmering.
We like a shimmering vulva at the center.
All right. So this block, you accidentally watched this sex scene with your parents.
Oh my gosh.
Accident.
I remember going to see the Sex and the City movie with my mom.
Oh, wait, I didn't even know they had a movie that came out in theaters.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, the first one, the first Sex and the City movie, the like really awesome one where there's sex every 2 seconds. Wow. And I think I might have been in like middle school or early years high school, and we went to see that movie together, and I was mortified.
And you stuck it out the whole time with your mom?
Yes.
You guys knew what you were getting into.
But honestly, I didn't watch the show growing up, and neither did she. She's just like my little immigrant mother. Like she did not watch Sex and the City. So I naively did not know what we were getting ourselves into, even though it's called Sex and the City.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't imagine how awkward that was, because I feel like the whole movie is probably sex.
No, it is. It really is.
It's not just one moment. It's like
it's sex. It's
torture
and the city. It's
over
like
and over.
At least 50% sex and 50% city. Like that's what it is. You're welcome. You hate me. It's okay.
Just a little bit.
Nah.
Okay. Next
so
one.
Give her that vulva. Definitely.
Give her the vulva.
All right. Thank you for letting me pick it, even though I've already ruined. All right. This is a sex scene. I really like this. It's a little harder though. This is a sex scene directed by a woman.
Scene. Wait, are there very specific answers to this, or is it just whatever I can think of?
Whatever you can think of. It just has to be a sex scene directed by a woman.
Exactly.
Scene directed by a woman. I feel like there's probably, what first comes to mind is Promising Young Woman. I know there's like a freaky, I don't know if it's exactly a sex scene, but it's definitely a revenge sex moment.
It's like
not exactly a sex scene. What can
They do have a little bit where like Bo Burnham and
do they have sex in there? Like
it's heavily
sex?
implied. Yeah.
There has to be a better one. I can't think.
It's harder though because so few women get to direct, but it's more in TV, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely Insecure.
We love Insecure.
Yeah.
What else?
Wow. So I guess this is a point right now.
That's a point.
Not a point on the board, but a point in the universal world of life, how hard it is to think of a scene directed by a woman.
But I do think she gets a vulva because she said anything from Insecure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There is one heavily implied consensual sex scene in Promising Young Woman. So that's like 2, and we don't usually make guests like keep guessing. So
yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
I didn't mean she didn't get a point. I just meant what I meant by point.
Oh yeah, that's a point for sure. A strong point.
Yeah.
Michelle gets a point, and that we made a point. So
yeah.
Well, amazing. You did great, and you have gotten us one step closer to the big O.
Oh, yes. So how many more vulvas do we need until we get to that big O. Oh, 2 more.
2. We could do
More.
NC-17 and sex fully clothed, or
Over the top fake orgasm, trans non-binary sex. That ends well.
Yes. Great. Well, thank you so much, Michelle.
Yes.
You guys, this was so fun.
Of course, an audience at home, we will be putting this board online so that you will be able to play the big O at home, and make sure that you share your boards. I don't know if you can get your vulvas to be as glimmery as ours are, but you can sure try.
Yeah. So Michelle, before you leave, we would love for you to plug anything that you want to promote, anything that you want the audience to know about.
Just keep binging Baker and the Beauty on Netflix. Get on it. Tell your friends, your family, anyone can watch it. It really is such a fun, feel-good, colorful show, and you get to see some like badass women on it.
Go watch Baker and the Beauty. Go follow Michelle. She is a phenomenal person. And we just want to thank you again for coming on the show and for talking about some of these more sensitive topics with us. We got deep in this episode.
We did. Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Thank you for holding space for me. All women, honestly. Thanks.
Thank you again for joining us, Michelle. And audience out there, don't forget to tune in to Baker and the Beauty.
Yeah, that's where you'll see her next.
Bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Wow, that was such an impactful interview. Thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on and sharing such an intimate perspective on this topic.
Yeah, seriously. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank everybody else who has been a part of this show. Thank you to the writers for putting this all together. Thank you to our badass producer, Brenna, who we fired and hired. Thank you to our associate producers. Thank you to Hovercast for powering our graphics. And also, thank you, Daryl.
Oh, thank you, Ariel.
Yeah, of course.
I love when we thank ourselves.
I know, right? We should also thank our patrons or our matrons.
Yes, we got some new patrons on our Patreon. So thank you so much for supporting us. If you guys also want to be patrons, we're going to mention it again. Join our Patreon. Support us, please. We need the money.
Exactly. And please be sure to return to our next episode, where we are going to be talking about how sexual assault plays a role in sex scenes.
Yes, but before that, we will be taking a small break. So in the meantime, go back and binge our last 2 episodes with Kat Cohen and Sydney Washington.
Exactly. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you next time on
The Sex Scene.
Bye.
I for you. Do you want to spend the night?
It's not how long it takes, it's who's taking.
Yeah.
We are all sluts. You're a slut. Your cameraman's a slut. Your PA is a slut. And your mic's a slut.